So hello and welcome! Today I will show you how to make this wonderful water bottle in Blender, and as always we start with a new file. And here we are in our new document. The first step, of course, as always, is to delete the cube because we will not need the default cube. What we need instead is cube, so let's add a cube. There we go, perfect. And the next step, of course, is to have some reference images. In this case, I got myself some nice reference image here. In this case, just a couple of bottles. You can use exactly this one if you go to my Discord channel, or just go onto Google and type water bottle. I found like 150 million reference images because they kind of all look the same. So what we're going to do now is just pull this one in. And now we have it in a Blender. So let's go and make this one in kinda the middle here. There we go. Let's take our cube and position it kinda in the middle. What we're going to do now is go and toggle X-ray so we can actually look through our wonderful cube, and let's scale this one with S and position it kinda in the middle. Now we're gonna scale it again with X and Y. And you can see always, of course, in the bottom corner what I am pressing. Let's go and position that in the middle. And let's, of course, select the points here, top and bottom. Always very important that you select the whole thing. And now we're going to press E in order to extrude it upwards until, of course, we hit our little curve there. Let's go and do that again, but this time we press S and scale it inwards a little bit. So we're just following the shape of the bottle. There we go. Now we are, of course, here at the top part, just going upwards until we hit this little lip here. We're just going to make a little extrusion again, but we're not gonna make anything with that because we're gonna make this one round later on. Now we have a little hole in here, so just gonna extrude once again for the hole, and of course the metal thing at the top is getting one as well. So there we go. Our bottle is not really looking bottle shaped, but that is something we can fix. But first, let's make it smooth by going into the settings here and get ourselves a subdivision surface. Let's go for 2. Of course, the more you do, the more polygons you have, the more expensive it is to render for your PC. But of course, you should not put 30 in there. So 2 or 3 should be fine. And now we're going to make it right quick and smooth. Currently, we don't really have bottle shapes, so let's go into the Z-axis and we're going to scale this one on the X-axis and just pull it until it's kind of bottle shaped. There we go, looking decent. Of course, this is just a tutorial. Do what you want, because following a tutorial is one thing, doing the stuff yourself is another one. And yeah, following is something that is this bottle not really doing. So we're just gonna go into edit mode and just gonna pull these things a little bit down. There we go. And of course, let's go into the sides. So we have wonderful fitting, or kind of fitting, bottle. Let's go a little bit to the top here. We're going to do the same here. There we go. Let's go for this one. Yeah, this is looking decent. Let's make the top a little bigger. Of course, that's all stuff that you can change on the fly. You can change it now, you can change it later. Who cares? So we can see here all these bottles have this little line here. So we're just going to make this one as well. So let's go for a loop cut and, well, make a loop cut. There we go. Around here is the cut. The thing is, of course, we now have to go inwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to press Ctrl B. Now we go and bevel it, and we can see we can now make this one bigger or smaller. Let's go for a little small one. There we go. I think this should be the size, maybe a little bit too big, but who cares? Now we're going to press E to extrude it, and we're going to let it go with the right mouse click. So we have now a separated mesh here. We're going to scale this one inwards, so we get a little line here. Let's go and see it a little bit better here. There we go. As I said, a little bit big maybe, but you can probably do it better than I do. So maybe it will look better on your side. So we can see there's nothing in the middle here. So let's go upwards to the top, and we can see we have now here the lip and the hole. First thing, of course, we're going to select the whole thing here by pressing Alt and then of course the edge, so we can get the whole thing. Same thing again, extrude, let go, but this time we're gonna scale it outwards. There we go, we can see a nice lip is forming where you'll probably later on drink. I think I made it a little bit too big, but who cares? Next up is of course the little gap between that, so we're just going to select this little gap here, extrude again, let go, but this time we're just going to scale it a little bit inwards. I think I also make this one a little bit too big. There we go. And now we have this little gap there. And well, this is kind of it. Of course, what you can do, you can maybe give it a couple more loop cuts in order to make this one more sharp. There we go. Maybe here a little bit as well. And maybe at the top, let's go for a little one here. Well, let's maybe not do that. Looking a little bit too big, but hey, let's go to the material part because we can currently see that is not really how a bottle should look like. So we're going to select our mesh, going on to materials, and we're going to click new. This material now is currently applied to the whole thing. So we're going to look at this, meaning we have now a little white one. As you can see also it's a little bit, maybe not bottle shaped. There we go. Maybe this is better. And if we now change the color here, you get the color that you want. Something we will later look at because our wonderful thing has a texture that we can use with this wonderful little icon there. If you don't have one on yours, you can just go and set the color. But in this case, I will show you that as well. But of course, we have the top part that is metallic. So we're just going to select the whole thing. There we go. I think we did not get the top part. There we go. We'll select the top part as well. And in this case, we're going to make a new material. There we go. We're going to assign this one and we're going to make this a little bit grayish. I can see we also did not get everything here, but who cares? Let's make a little loop cut and pull it down. And yeah, the thing is, of course, currently that is not really metallic. So let's change that. Let's go into the shader editor and put up the metallic slider, and there we go. It's now metallic. So of course, if we take a look at our wonderful reference image, we can see we have this little thingy here, this little bicycle on the tree. So let's go back onto our first material here, and now we're just gonna create an image texture, which we're gonna plug into the base color. We're gonna select here our extra large bottle, and well, we have now a texture, but it's not looking as intended. So we're just gonna make something real quick. We go into the side view. First, we're just gonna snip this bottle in half. There we go, because we will make something that's making it a little bit easier for you. We're just gonna delete half of everything here. There we go, half of everything is done, is gone, deleted. Let's go into the add-ons again, and let's go for a mirror. As you can see now, we have, well, a bottle, but the thing is, what's happening on one side is now happening on the other one as well. I should probably have done it in the beginning, but who cares? Let's go and make a new window. And this one, we're going to the UV editor, meaning we're going to mesh which part of our wonderful texture it should show. So let's go and select here a wonderful extra large bottle PNG and go into edit mode. It's gonna select everything. And as you can see, this is not really looking bottle shaped. So let's take a look from the front, and we're gonna press U for unwrap. In this case, we're gonna project it from the view. There we have it, meaning we have now a little bottle there. I just selected the top part as well, which we don't really need. So let's just select everything that's not metallic and look at the right. So we're gonna select the whole thing and just get onto wherever we want. Scale it so it will fit. And there we go. Our wonderful bottle is done. It's probably not perfectly aligned. And there we go. Our wonderful bottle is done. Of course, you can play around with lighting and of course some materials if you want. Go up with roughness more or less. There we go. I hope you liked this one. Of course, you can polish this one even more. And hope I see you next time.